Hi, this is Christina again. I'm Releasing for a Better Life. I want to remind you again how this program works that I have created over a lot of time working with different aspects of my life. So basically what this program is about is releasing to God problems that you have, things that you're thankful for, basically everything in your life. And releasing all of it to God, just letting it go. For me, I imagine that I put it all into a ball, and I imagine all these things, good and bad, are made they become birds, and I release them to God, where they fly up to God, and God corrects them and makes them better, helps them become something more, whatever needs to be done with them, and then sends the birds back down to me. And I get answers, or I get different messages in the forms of different things. For instance, just this week, I released to God that I need to find out how to find a closeness with my angel when I'm not able to actually talk to my angel. And we went into a store, and I found a necklace that's specifically around angels. And although no matter what you believe about that kind of stuff, for me it was a way to connect to my angel. I can rub it, I can touch it, I can, the creator of it, the designer specifically created it so that it would be there if you ever felt like you needed your angel around you. And that brings me to the second part, and that is talking to your angel, your guardian angel, or angels, whatever you believe. Again, the God, the angels, they're fit to your comfortable level, whatever you need. So when I talk about my angel, I believe for me, it's a guardian angel that I have. And I use that guardian angel like my best friend. I talk to my guardian angel on a regular basis about everything going on. And then I specifically, in clear notes, let my angel know what I'm working towards, what my final goal is. And I make sure that I stay clear on my final goal. I don't give 20 goals or 30 goals, whatever is most important right now. I want to work on that one thing and make it a clear message. I can tell my angel everything. I can talk to my angel about whatever is going on. And I always end everything knowing that, reminding myself and my angel that my angel is there to protect me and help me and has everything best in mind. So these videos that I make are a journal that I put together so people can learn from what's been going on in my life and what I've been working on. I encourage you to go back and watch some of the others, because some of the messages may ring true for you and some may not. That's okay, but it's good to just watch them and see which ones might help you. So what I want to talk about today, last week I was talking about a lot about having your angel talk to other people's angels to help guide them when they're having problems. But the thing that I want to talk about this week is having depression or being blue or sad, and is that okay? Because we all have moments where we feel overwhelmed. We feel, I don't want to, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't want to say it's such a clinical depression, but we have times where we're just not as motivated. We're just not as excited. We're just, feeling sad. We're feeling like just crawling up in the blankets and going to bed. We're stressed about having to go into work and deal with people. Whatever the deal is, whatever it is for you or for anybody, this is what I'm talking about. And we all know what this is for each of us. And I definitely get it, where I just feel overwhelmed by everything. Everything seems to get to me, and I just want to tune out. I don't want to have to focus on anything that I'm working on. And I used to be afraid of these times. They don't last forever. They do come. And, people used to say, oh, well, when they're coming, why don't you go talk to a doctor about medication? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I know for some people that really works. But for me right now, what I want to say for my, depression that I get is that there always seems to be something that comes along on the other side of it. If I take this depression or this sadness or this feeling of being overwhelmed and wanting to just hide, if I take it and let it be a message, or let myself learn and grow from it and understand why this is happening, or even just understand why I handle this. And I realized, like, for this one that I had recently, you know, I had a lot of stressful times at work, and I got incredibly emotional and excited and wound up about it. And then I found myself in this kind of depression. Well, not kind of, it's been this, you know, I just want to kind of crawl in and not have to focus or work with anybody. And I realize it's my body's own way of calming down, because I got so excited and so overwhelmed and so, you know, anxious about the whole event. My body naturally put me into this kind of calm state. And what I interpreted as this depression for me turned out to be, I just needed a break. I just needed time to calm myself down, to feel better about who I am. And it's just like, you know, I think about it when some of my past things where I've had depression, like I remember when my first marriage, as bad as it was when it ended, I went through a depression, and at first I was so afraid of that depression. I sat there and you know, I was panicked, and I went to a doctor, and they're like, well, let's get you on some meds and let's get you on all this. And I said, you know what, let me just work with this depression for a while. And I remember letting myself go fully into this, promising myself that it was not something that would take me down or cause me to not get back up, but I would let it happen. And I realized at that time that I needed to go through that depression to process everything that had happened, and to let go of everything that, you know, might have been my part of the fault of the marriage, or the mistake of why it happened, or whatever it was. That I had to break through that science. And if all I did was put a smiley face and be like, yay, I'm divorced and yay, it's over, I would never have had that chance to process that and get through the events of that marriage and the divorce. I mean, it was turbulent, and we maybe all need to take time to do that. We just need to process it. And I've met people now who tell me that they've been in a depression for years, and I said, well, what are you in a depression from? And they talk about all this stuff, and I said, well, have you processed that? Have you given yourself a chance to process that? And most of the time they say, no, I just, you know, I broke up with my wife, and it's a divorce, and I'm still angry and frustrated, and I can't get over it. And I understand it, I do. And that's where the releasing comes in, and I've had to do a lot of releasing with this. So, you know, you get stressed, you get depressed, you get anxious, whatever it is. And instead of holding on to that, you start to release it and understand all the nuances of what has happened to you. Even with, you know, like the turbulence at work, because I got so depressed and stressed after it, I was able to really process everything that happened and understand what part of it really bothered me the most, and understand the part of it where I was judging myself. And I've been able to really release those and let them go to God, and let God take them and clean them up. And, you know, and it's not always an easy fix. I don't want you to think, oh, I've released it once, everything should go away. No, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to let this stuff process and work. So I'm not saying that depression is okay, but I am saying that when it happens at times, sometimes it's because your body is giving you a chance. It's giving you an opportunity to really sit down and process and think about what's happened and why you feel that way, and where you need to really release and let go of stuff. That if you have nothing but a smiley face no matter what has happened, then you're not giving yourself a chance to really work through it and get through it and let it go. Give it to God. Give it away. And you're also not allowing a chance for your angels to come in and help guide you in the next direction that's going to give you something better. So, you know, and instead of fighting this process, the depression is asking us love this process and be helpful with it. So, before releasing, it was a lot harder. Now with releasing, I've come to not fear these times. I've come to, say I let this go, and I've come to use this time to really process what's happening with me. And the more I process and talk about it and release it, the more that comes out, and the more that I'm able to release and say, I get it now. I understand why this put me in this position. So also remember, sometimes as people, we do absorb other people's emotions. So for instance, if it's the holidays, a lot of people don't like the holidays for whatever reason. They, a lot of people find the holidays very depressing, whether they've lost a loved one or whether they've never had a good Christmas. Who knows what's going on, but they find that whole holiday season tough. And sometimes when we have depression, it's just because we're absorbing all this negative energy, because the negative or the depressed or the real stressed energy seems to be really strong. And if you're a sensitive person at all, some people call them empaths, you will absorb all that information, all that emotions and feelings from other people. So anyway, I would never say be depressed and don't get help. If you feel like you need help, absolutely get help. But I would say also that if you're like me, where it's not a continual thing, it just comes sometimes after a major event, you kind of go into this like dark space in life, but you're not out to hurt yourself. You're not going, you just are trying to process things. And it's okay to let yourself process through those emotions and release to God, and just know that if you allow this to work through, the better set is coming behind you. Something better is coming. And, the more you let your angels just kind of come and hold you through this, the better things will be there for you. They will. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great week, and I will talk to you soon. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. And if you'd like to get hold of me, please email me below. Thank you so much.